When you see news happening, report it at WFLA.com. Live, this is News Channel 8 Today on your side.
Right now, bracing for more potential tropical weather. How you can prepare your home for what's expected to be several more inches of rain. And it's been a little more than a week since Hurricane Helene devastated our coast, and so many neighbors are stepping up to help others recover. In just a few minutes, we're going to meet the Good Samaritans with positive impact. And we're going to show you how they're helping victims here on Sunset Beach. Plus, we are 1 month from Election Day, and the impacts of Helene are forcing some changes to help make sure voters can cast their ballots. The rules the governor is easing to make sure everyone's voices can be heard. Good Saturday morning. I'm Melissa Marino. Thank you so much for waking up with us. I'm here with meteorologist Rebecca Berry. Good morning.
Good morning.
I know a lot of folks are worried about that rain, though.
Oof, yes, and they should be, because we've been saturated with rain. It's been a very rainy season. It was a lot drier last summer, and so we were actually begging for a little bit of rain last summer, but this summer it's a different story. And so there's a lot going on in the tropics. We're starting with Hurricane Leslie. We're starting right here. Here's where Leslie's forecast ends, and that's where Kirk's current position begins as a Category 3 hurricane. Hurricane Kirk and Hurricane Leslie just expected to be fish storms, not going to affect land, only the fish, our favorite kind. Unfortunately, we are also watching an area in the Gulf with a very high chance to develop. They've upgraded the chance over the next 2 days to a 50%. And so it's twofold. It's a one punch. We've been watching the tropics for over a week now for the potential for development, and we're starting to get tropical waves of moisture starting on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, well out ahead of the area of development. This is the European model, and so it shows signs of development by Sunday afternoon. We'll probably have a numbered or named system, but we're already getting these rounds of downpours pushing across the southern half of the state, and that'll continue Sunday night into Monday. And so we're getting waves of rain before the actual low pressure system itself approaches us. And right now the Euro has a landfall near Fort Myers, which puts us on the clean side of the storm. The dirty side's to the south of the eye, where you may get some storm surge. This would cause reverse surge across our area if this scenario were to play out. This is Wednesday morning at 8 a.m., tracking very quickly across the state and actually starting to drag down some cooler, drier air. So ironically, the probably last tropical system we'll have to deal with this year is bringing us our first taste of fall next weekend. I'll walk you through those temperatures. We're talking 60s in the morning, coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Rebecca. Happening today, we'll receive an update from Tampa Mayor Jane Castor on how the city is preparing for more tropical weather. She'll also tour cleanup efforts in the wake of Helene and thank crews for their hard work. We'll hear from the mayor at 8 this morning. That's happening on West Montgomery Avenue. And to make sure you're ready, the city is opening several sandbag locations. Sites will be open at 8 a.m. at the Himes Avenue complex in Al Barnes Park. You must fill your own sandbags. They are open until 5 this evening. And the coming rain, not welcome news for folks still rebuilding after Helene. We spoke with several neighbors in Indian Rocks Beach who are working to tear out drywall, remove baseboards, and clear their yards. Some say if another storm is to hit, it might as well be now.
We've lost everything. So what are we going to lose? Now we don't have to get the furniture out of the way to get the squeegees to sweep the water out. Everything's destroyed from 4 foot down.
As potential severe weather approaches, local officials say it's important to listen to evacuation orders and always be prepared for the worst. And two local members of Congress reassuring folks FEMA has enough money to help Helene victims. Republican Congresswoman Laurel Lee and Democrat Kathy Castor both sharing this sentiment. Lee says Congress has allocated the proper funds, while Castor says they also want to make sure there is no fraud.
FEMA does have resources that they need to be dealing with the immediate aftermath of the disaster. If there is a need for additional people resources, we'll absolutely be looking at that.
It will take a little while because we want to make sure there's no fraud. FEMA has the funds for individual assistance.
Castor says it could take a week to 10 days for individual assistance. All weekend long in Pinellas County, if you need help filing an insurance claim, an insurance village will be open in Clearwater. More than 36 insurance agencies plus representatives from FEMA are going to be on site to help people file insurance claims. It's located at the Long Center, that's on North Belcher Road, from 9 to 5 both today and tomorrow. And happening today in Sarasota County, a community cleanup is happening for folks who suffered damage in Osprey and Gulfgate. It runs from 8 this morning until noon. There will be a dumpster set up on Curtis Avenue. Hazardous materials like oil, aerosol cans, and paint will not be accepted. Those must be taken to the Citizens Convenience Center in Nokomis. Also happening today, Pinellas County reopening a few of its parks. Philippe Park in Safety Harbor and Whedon Island Preserve in St. Petersburg will reopen. The Cultural and Natural History Center at Whedon Island will be closed until Thursday. We are 1 month from the November election, and there are many fears Helene's impact will create problems for folks who are looking to vote. To help, Governor DeSantis is allowing voting sites to be relocated, and voters can use alternate addresses. He's also suspending some vote-by-mail requirements. Supervisors of elections say they can help anyone who needs it. All you need to do is visit your county's elections page for assistance. Still ahead, a popular way to cross Tampa Bay back in service, how you can take advantage of the Cross Bay Ferry. Plus, turning the water back on, how Shannon Bankin was able to help a family whose water was cut off over a bill they weren't responsible for. Today in Clearwater, AAA is holding catalytic converter theft event. You can have a non-removable ID that's placed on your vehicle's converter so that it can be tracked if stolen. This is free. It runs from 8:30 this morning to 3:30 this afternoon on Gulf to Bay Boulevard. And a heads up, if you need to get rid of storm debris, if you don't live in Hillsborough County, you can no longer use the county's landfills and transfer stations. The Northwest and South County solid waste facilities, as well as the Southeast County landfill, can only be used by county residents who have a photo ID. The county says this is due to limited capacity. And if you are looking across the bay, the Cross Bay Ferry service is returning this weekend. The ferry departs from the Port of St. Pete in downtown to the Tampa Convention Center. You can book tickets and find the ferry schedule on the crossbayferry.com. Still ahead, 8 on your side, helping you get relief for Seminole Heights communities. The work that's being paused so they can clean up post-Helene. Plus, we'll let you know how you can take advantage of the Insurance Village that's open in Clearwater this weekend, aimed at getting Helene victims the help they need.
And we're tracking the latest in the tropics. We've got 2 hurricanes in the Atlantic, but all eyes are on the Gulf right now. I'll walk you through step by step what we could see from that system coming up next.
News Channel 8's Car Wash Forecast, sponsored by Red Hoagland Hyundai, Winter Haven.
Neighbors across Pinellas County still cleaning out their homes after Hurricane Helene. One of the hardest hit areas was on Sunset Beach in Treasure Island. And today, the group Positive Impact is helping them. 8 on your side's Alessandra Young is on Sunset Beach this morning with more on what they plan to do. Thank you, Alessandra. And we have an update to the story that we brought you earlier this week. TECO says they will pause work on a Seminole Heights road where neighbors are trying to clean up from Helene. Neighbors on Hamilton Heath Drive tell us that TECO was burying electrical cables on the street. TECO officials now tell us they're going to pause that work for a few weeks to give those neighbors time to clean up. A Largo woman woke up to discover her water was disconnected because the bill had not been paid. The problem is she rents, and that bill was in the name of the management company. After 5 days with no water and no answers, she called 8 on your side consumer investigator Shannon Bankin.
All eyes are on the Gulf right now because of the potential for some development. There's a 50% chance over the next 2 days, and there's an 80% chance over the next 7 days. And we expect it to potentially head towards anywhere from Tampa southward as we head into Tuesday night into Wednesday. All forecast models generally agreeing on a track towards Florida. probably forming by Sunday night. I think by Sunday night we'll have a numbered or a named system approaching our area potentially by Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. This is the midnight position there. And so the midnight position. And so if it does track just a little further south of us, like the Euro is showing right here, we'll have the offshore winds and reverse surge where we get the lower water levels. The dirty side of the storm's just to the south of the eye. And so the further south it tracks, the better it is for our area. I will let you know the GFS is a little further north in this position right now, but for the overnight hours, the Euro has weakened the system a little bit. So we're looking at possibly a tropical storm, possibly a low-end hurricane, and so it's still a little too soon to tell. As soon as the system forms, the forecast models, one model run after the center of rotation forms get a little bit better. But even better news behind the system is the fact that we'll get some drier, cooler air dragging down. So air goes counterclockwise around a low pressure system. That puts us with northerly winds Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and our first taste of fall. So it's kind of ironic. The last tropical system we'll probably deal with this season, bringing us our first taste of fall. But our primary concern with this system is rainfall because we've been so saturated and because starting tomorrow, we'll start to see tropical downpours moving on shore. This is the European forecast calling for really the epicenter. The only good news with this is it is over the course of several days. And so it's not like we're getting 8 inches at once. It's going to be starting on Sunday through Wednesday afternoon. And so we may see the potential for some inland flooding associated with the rainfall from the storm. This is that more northerly GFS track showing the rain mainly north of Tampa all the way up to Citrus County with the heaviest rainfalls. And so the ocean to sea surface temperatures right now very warm, but not quite as warm as they were when Helene moved through. So we have slightly less of a chance for rapid intensification or anything like that. But it has been a record year for sea surface temperatures. And so as far as your tropical threats go, we're mainly worried about the potential for flooding rain. Gusty winds are also a concern, but storm surge and tornadoes become less and less of a concern with this system. Looking out at your Newport Richey camera, we're in the mid-70s. Not many showers on the radar. Today's the decidedly drier day of the weekend. We have some isolated shower potential during the afternoon hours. We're looking for mainly Sunday to be the rain day, but today will be a lot hotter. We'll top out right around 90 degrees. Tropical moisture starts to creep up mainly from the south by 3 p.m. and widespread chances for rain as we head into the weekend. So here's a look at your 8-day forecast. 30% chance for rain today, up to 70% chances rain Sunday, Monday, and back again on Wednesday as those tropical downpours move through. But check out the 60s we're waking up to behind that system and beautiful fall-like weather for next weekend.
Thank you, Rebecca. Coming up in sports, despite a stellar performance Thursday night, Kenny Morales is breaking down why Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield is not happy with how he played and what the team needs to work on moving forward. Time right now, 6:21 on this Saturday morning. A gorgeous look at downtown Tampa. Stay with us. You're watching News Channel 8 today. Still ahead, FEMA opening more locations in Pinellas County this morning where you can go if you need help recovering from Helene.
This weekend on Battleground Florida, helping you understand Amendment 1, the push to add party affiliations for school board candidates on the ballot, the impact your vote will have in the classroom and future elections. Sunday at 9:30 on News Channel 8.
I'm Stacey Scheibel. The Heart Walk is Saturday, November 16th. So many have suffered from heart disease and stroke, including my family, our News Channel 8 family, and many of you. We're fighting back. Join our team. We're on your side.
Live, this is News Channel 8 Today on your side.
1 million gallons of wastewater dumped in Pinellas County, with some have been even worse. And left without answers why residents of one Pasco County mobile home park say they don't know if they should repair their homes or leave. And one group taking recovery into their own hands. We're hearing from Positive Impact about their efforts to help the community. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Melissa Marino. We'll get to those stories in just a moment, but first we're going to check in with Rebecca Berry on your forecast.
Good morning. We're watching the tropics. Of course, we've had a couple of fish storms lately. They're out in the Atlantic. We're currently dealing with Hurricane Leslie and as well as Hurricane Kirk, but they're not going to affect anyone but the fish. Unfortunately, we're watching an area in the tropics with a high chance to develop in the Gulf. And so it's not the rain that's going to move our way tomorrow that's well out ahead of it. It's a low pressure system that's tracked off the coast of Mexico that's going to take advantage of all that abundant moisture and eventually develop during the day tomorrow into the afternoon hours. I'm showing you the Euro versus the GFS, the two main models that we use, and the GFS is in green and the Euro's in red. So the Euro develops it a little faster. You can see that tighter line in red there versus the bigger line in green, but they're in general agreement on the area. And this is Sunday night at 8 p.m. So by tomorrow night, we'll most likely have a named system. Both the GFS and the Euro track it closer to the Tampa Bay area. The GFS, a little weaker. You can see the isobars are wider versus the tighter Euro, and the GFS is a little further north. And so upon landfall, we're looking at two different scenarios, a weaker storm closer to Tampa or a tighter system a little bit further south than us. And the further south it goes, the less of an effect it'll have on our area. But we expect it to be a rainmaker mainly on Wednesday. It moves out very quickly and we dry out very quickly behind it. But between Sunday's rain through Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, we could see some area rainfall totals upwards of 8 inches. We'll take a look at the drier day that we're going to experience today, hour by hour, coming up next.
Thank you, Rebecca. There are 6 FEMA sites opening up today across Pinellas County. You'll be able to get help applying for assistance as well as get information on services you can access now if you're unable to return home. The locations, they are listed on your screen. They're open this morning at 9 and they will stay open until 7 tonight. Residents of a Pasco County mobile home park say their homes are now marked unsafe to live in. They've found orange notices scattered all around the Gulf Breeze mobile home park. Take a look. And now residents say they're frustrated by the lack of communication from county commissioners. They're unsure if they should repair or leave.
Fix it. Come in here and tell me what the hell you're going to do. Because if I spend money to fix this up, because it's fixable, why would I if they're going to condemn the whole park?
County officials insist the homes are not condemned, but believe they should not be occupied. They say nearby hurricane shelters are available for residents to stay. Neighbors across Pinellas County still cleaning out their homes after the hurricane. One of the hardest hit areas, that was Sunset Beach and Treasure Island. And today the group is there, Positive Impact, helping those in need. 8 on your side's Alessandra Young live on Sunset Beach this morning with what they plan to do. Good morning.
Good morning, Melissa. Now, there is a lot of damage here on the beach. Now, I want you all to take a look at this red X on this house. This is just one condemned house out of many here on Sunset Beach. So we do have Positive Impact that is out here trying to help people, help their community. And I'm here with Miss Karen Ray with Positive Impact. Thank you so much, Miss Karen Ray. And so if you have it in your heart or you have extra time to come out here this weekend, you heard Karen Ray, they do need extra help, or even next week, head on over to our website at WFLA.com for the sign-up link. Live in Sunset Beach, Alessandra Young, 8 on your side.
Thank you, Alessandra. Today, neighbors in Newport Richey are coming together for a community relief cleanup and barbecue. It's for residents at the Newport Colony Villas. There will be food and drinks for volunteers helping to remove debris from the area. They're also accepting donations for people recovering from Helene. The event runs from 11 this morning until 3. Also today, although it might not feel like fall quite yet, the Harvest Days Festival is kicking off at Keel Farms. You can go on hay rides, take a walk through the corn maze, or check out the petting zoo. Admission is free, but parking is $10 per car. The event runs every Saturday and Sunday until the end of October from 10 to 3. Recreational marijuana could soon be a reality in Florida. We're hearing from one group trying to debunk the rumors around Amendment 3. And heavy rains expected over the next few days. The sandbag site's opening today to help protect your home. Voters in Florida will soon decide whether to legalize recreational marijuana, and a Bay Area lab is getting ready for a potential boost in business. Modern Canna tests 3,500 samples of medical marijuana every month for potency and contamination. Now, that testing is required by state law. If approved, Amendment 3 would allow medical marijuana treatment centers and other state entities to also then sell recreational marijuana to people 21 or older. Opponents say that marijuana companies would have a monopoly over the industry.
There isn't one provider, there's 25, and that's more than grocery chains in Florida. And then there's 22 that have been pending since April of 2023.
Modern Canna's CEO says their testing volume could triple if recreational marijuana is legalized and if the same safety regulations are applied. Hillsborough County is opening 3 sandbag sites ahead of heavy rain expected over the next few days. The sandbag operation sites on your screen will be open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. today. You will be able to get 10 sandbags per vehicle. You must fill them yourself. And the city of Bradenton also opening sandbag sites today. The Public Works Annex on 9th Street West allows up to 10 per car. That site is open from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. You do need to show proof of residency. If you have debris piling up, several sites are about to open. We'll tell you where you can get some help today with that. And a mental health facility accused of holding people against their will. We're hearing from one person who says it was all about profits, not patients. Time right now, 6:41 on this Saturday morning. Look at this gorgeous shot over downtown Tampa. Stay with us. More news and your full forecast coming up.
Keeping you safe, the Max Defender 8 weather team on News Channel 8.
Happening today, the city of Dunedin will begin picking up debris from Helene. They say the process could take weeks, but they are starting with neighborhoods most impacted by this, that neighbors keep streets clear so trucks can get through. They say right now the focus is on clearing household debris, branches, and leaves will be picked up later. Sarasota County is opening a free dump site for debris today from 8 a.m. until noon. You can take debris to a site that's outside of the Golf Gate Library. Now, hazardous materials like oil, paint, and batteries will not be accepted. For people in Hillsborough County, you can go to the Hillsborough Heights Community Collection Center in Seffner today, and that is so you can get rid of your yard waste. That drop-off facility is open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Bagged yard waste will not be accepted. Former patients and employees of Acadia mental health facilities tell 8 on Your Side that people were held against their will, including one in Pasco County. Now, they claim the motive wasn't patient care, but instead it was profits. Investigator Brittany Muller has the story. Some good news here this morning. The Saturday morning market will return to Al Lang Stadium in St. Pete. You can check out over 100 vendors selling produce, meats, bread, and art. The market runs from 9. And check out this video from NASA. It shows the most powerful solar flare since 2017. NASA says this happened Thursday evening, and the flare is actually strong enough to disrupt communications devices across the planet. And Rebecca has some more information on this. It is just so cool to see these.
It's so beautiful to see these images. I love how they've upgraded the satellites and so that we can see this kind of stuff. Yeah, the good news is solar flares, while they sound kind of scary, especially from the geomagnetic interrupting our communications aspect, it does create something beautiful. So the sun emits that solar flare, and so that energy or plasma moves towards our magnetic fields, which end at the poles here and start to interact with those magnetic fields as they travel closer to the Earth. And as that happens, we see it moving in, especially where the magnetic field's weaker, which is the poles, and that's what creates the northern lights. The sun particles collide with our ionosphere molecules and emit energy as a color, and so red or green is oxygen and purple or blue is actually nitrogen. So the northern lights can be different colors. So hopefully we'll get some really cool images of that, because we do expect an increase in those northern lights as a result of that solar flare. Unfortunately, we have to move on to less fun stuff to talk about. It's the tropics. We've got Hurricane Kirk and Hurricane Leslie. These are not too bad. They are fish storms, and there's another area of potential development moving off the coastline of Africa with a low chance to develop. If it does develop, it'll most likely be a fish storm as well. All eyes are on the Gulf, where we expect some development in the southwestern Gulf by tomorrow afternoon. 80% chance for that. But we have a lot of tropical moisture out ahead of that starts to impact our area in terms of rainfall starting tomorrow afternoon. This is the Euro. It shows that formation by Sunday afternoon, tracking towards the state. This is the position at 4 a.m. on Tuesday. It is still pretty lopsided at that point. You can see all the rain kind of on the northern and eastern side of it. And we do expect this to be a rainfall event primarily. The Euro's a little bit further north than the GFS. The GFS is closer to Naples for a landfall. We'll get a better idea once the system actually forms. That's when models get a little bit better at forecasting the actual landfalling location. But this is going to be a rainmaker primarily for us. So tropical storm or a low-end hurricane possible across our area Wednesday morning. So it's Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, but it moves out fast. And behind it, it's dragging down cooler, drier air, giving us our first taste of fall as we head into next weekend. And so as far as the rainfall totals go, we will have some excessive rainfall, especially along the coast. This is the European forecast, and then this is the GFS forecast showing we could get above 8 inches in some hot spots. And so once again, once we get that landfalling location nailed down a little bit better, we'll know which the areas are more likely to be hot spots. We're watching the beginnings of the sunrise on our Marina Point camera, and it is beautiful. Today's the decidedly better day of the weekend, especially in terms of rainfall chances. It's quite quiet right now on Max Defender 8, and we've got a report from Joyce in Trinity. She says it's 75 degrees where she is this morning. What a beautiful start. Thanks for sending in your report, Joyce. As far as your forecast goes, we have only isolated chances for showers this afternoon. A few showers across Citrus County, maybe Pasco and northern Polk, but most of us will stay dry today. It's tomorrow, but we have the first half of tomorrow that's dry. It's the last half that we see waves of tropical moisture starting to make their way across our area. Afternoons continue to be high, especially on Wednesday as that potential system crosses our state.
Thank you, Rebecca. A group of volunteers coming together in Hillsborough County to help people recovering from Helene. After the break, we're hearing from the Hurricane Helene warriors about why they stepped up to help people that couldn't help themselves.
This weekend on Battleground Florida, helping you understand Amendment 1, the push to add party affiliations for school board candidates on the ballot, the impact your vote will have in the classroom and future elections. Sunday at 9:30 on NewsChannel 8.
Get epic discounts up to 75% off. From electronics to home decor to everything in between. It's a new deal every week. Just scan the QR code or head to WFLA.com and click on Marketplace to start saving now.
Volunteers brought together by social media are helping seniors clean up after Hurricane Helene.
All right. News Channel 8's Brianna Villegas shows us how they're making an impact.
I'm Brianna Villegas.
Kind of what's holding everyone together is just all the random people showing up and helping.
And you did that yesterday.
I did, and that's literally all you do. That's all they need is extra hands just to get everything out of the house into the garbage.
Yeah.
That's it. And then obviously the cleanup.
Yeah.
All right.
Started.
Stick with us. Another hour of news, weather, and sports is coming up next.
Get hurricane ready with Max Defender 8's Hurricane Guide at WFLA.com.